What's up guys, Darkdally here, back on my runway. I'm going to do some more sniper rifle testing. I'm slowly working my way down the list, testing each of these sniper rifles one at a time. Now, I already did the video where I compared the bullet drop of all of them. I ran through all 11 rifles and just stock for a baseline, compared their bullet drop. And if you haven't seen that video, it is in this playlist earlier on, but there will be a link for it in the description of this video as well as at the end up in the upper left hand corner of the screen. So since I've done that video, I'm now going through each rifle one at a time in its own video, and I'm modifying them, comparing the bullet drop, modified to what the baseline was, and as we go I'm collecting all of the graphical data and I'm overlapping those as I go, so that now that we've done the what have we done? We've done the L115, and then last time we did the Dragunov. So in this one, once I'm finished in the end results, you will see this one's baseline and it's modified compared to the L115 and the Dragunov. And as we go, I will continue making this cumulative graphic update so that you can see how each rifle compares to each other when they're modified and how much they gain in comparison to others when you do modify them. So let's start off today with the MSR. I want to hit this one today. It's been much requested. There's more and more people requesting different rifles, and this is definitely a highly requested one. Okay, and so our MSR is currently stock, completely stock, even the scope. We're using the stock, the ACOG scope, which is, I believe, the stock scope for all the sniper rifles, or most of them anyway. Let's go ahead, and the first thing I want to do, I want to follow suit with what I did last time with the Dragunov, and first let's see, let's make sure it's zeroed with all these scopes. Now, at this range, it's not as easy to tell. Let me tell you, one good way to tell when a rifle is zeroed with a scope is to get on an overlook, particularly over water. I found works really well. Getting on like an overlook over water, find the right angle to fire so that you can watch the curve of the bullet. You can watch the tracer of the bullet in the scope, and then as it watch it fall and watch it hit the water and where it impacts the water, and watch and see if it does follow that vertical line in the mil dots all the way down, because some of these rifles with some scopes are off center, either they're above the crosshair, or like in the case of the Dragunov, it was kind of off to the right on some of them. So that's one good way to test it. Okay, so for now, let's get a basic feel for it and fire some shots at this wall. So with the ACOG scope, let's back up a little bit. It looked pretty centered. I see we're already going to have a problem with you guys. Those guys, I swear. It's like the first rule of firing ranges is you don't stand in front of the guy with the gun. But hey, whatever, right? Figure in the breathing. I think this is accurate. This is definitely accurate enough. This is not like there's going to be, what I'm looking for is this, guys. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the scopes that are just way off. And the ACOG on the MSR is clearly pretty decent. So let's go down to the next one. Let's just go work our way down the list. Let's start with the TARS 101. It's settling down below the bullet hole, but I think just because of where my breathing is. That's perfectly acceptable. We're looking for a real margin here, like we saw with the Dragunov and the Russian scope. What a shame that was. Let's look at the T5X. I don't think I have to. I think this scope is dead on with absolutely every gun. It's the exact same thing. The crosshair is settling right below the bullet hole, and I think it's the pattern in my character's breathing. And so let's try the POSP. Now, the Dragunov was off on this site just a tiny bit. Let's see how the MSR is with the Chinese scope. I think it's fine. So let's try the last, I believe it's the last scope with the MSR. Let's try the... Yep. Let's try the Russian scope, the PKS-07. Apparently, yes, if you shoot unsuppressed on this part of the runway, they will come down out of the town. Not a big deal. I put a suppressor on the rifle. It's not going to affect anything except the bullet travel time. So with the Russian sight, now it looks pretty centered. It's not like the Dragunov. The Dragunov was noticeably off to the side. This looks fine. This is fine. Totally centered. Alright, so the MSR is pretty much really, reasonably dead on with all of the scopes. It looks like one of them might be off by, just a little bit, but it's nothing to worry about whatsoever. So we're still going to continue testing with the T5XI just because that's the standard by which, you know, that is the scope I've been testing everything with, and it's probably the scope most people use because it has the most zoom and it has the largest display on your screen. The scope takes up almost the entire screen. So we're going to run to 350 meters, and we already know where the MSR hits on the wall. Stock, it will hit right at the bottom of the 4th brick on the wall. I'm going to go ahead and do that anyway. Let's go ahead and let's equip the T5XI just because that's the one I'm using to test. Now, other than the suppressor and the scope, the rifle is stock. It has its normal barrel and everything. So I know that when I shoot this, and I will anyway just to get a good baseline. Alright, so we already know where it's going to hit, but I just want to do this for a good baseline. Looks like I shot maybe a little low, but it's only going to be off by a couple inches. It should be right at the bottom of that 4th brick. Yeah, it looks like it hit right where it should have, a little low, just like I thought. I aimed a little low. Now, what is that hole there? I'm actually not sure, so let's confirm this. I don't want to waste the time to confirm this, but now I kind of got to because there's another hole in the wall. I don't know how it got there. Could have been when I was fighting these cartel guys who came down onto the runway. So let's go find out. I just want to make sure. It should be at the bottom of the 4th brick. Yes, that hole is an anomaly from something else. Probably a stray bullet from when I was fighting the cartel. And that's where it should be hitting. That hit was more dead on, as you can see, right at the bottom of the 4th brick. So that's our baseline for this rifle. Now let's see what kind of mods we can put on the MSR. We already know the things that are going to alter bullet drop. Now, there's no rail attachments, so there's no option of a rangefinder, which means the only thing that we can do to affect bullet drop is going to be the barrel. I've tried everything else. I've tried changing butt stocks on rifles that you can't on this one. I've even tried magazines. None of it has an effect. I know. Why would I try a magazine? Because I try everything, and that's why I'm letting you know. We've already tried it all. So we can put, well, let's go ahead. Let's put a short barrel. How much does a short barrel drop it? I mean, maybe you want to fire an MSR with a short barrel. Maybe you want it shorter and you're wondering how much more will I drop my bullet. Let's find out. Alright, let's see how much that dropped it using the short barrel. My guess is probably a couple of bricks, if past experience with rifles is any guide. Whoopsie, come on. And, okay, so with the short barrel, I actually had to take it, I went up there, I couldn't find it. Actually moved the mark, fired again, still couldn't find the bullet, so it dropped low enough to not even appear on the wall. So I can measure this at a later date. I don't want to use up all the time on that, but be aware, if you put a short barrel on your MSR, it's going to drop considerably. Let's go ahead and try the long barrel because this is the only modification we can put on, the only other modification that will affect the bullet drop. Firing from 350 meters. That looked like it hit kind of high. I can't imagine it made that much difference. Let's see. A baseline test where it hit. Oh, and that, by the way, right there, that anomaly, I didn't know where it came from. When I got close, it's actually not a bullet hole. It's a chip in the concrete is actually what that is. So this is where our MSR is hitting now, right here. We were hitting at the bottom of the 4th brick, which is 1, 2, 3. So we were hitting here. Yep, it went up 2 bricks, exactly the same increment as the L115 did when we put the longer barrel on it. So we were hitting. Let's go ahead and put the graphic on the screen. I'm showing right now. Here is where the MSR was hitting stock, as you can see right there at the bottom of the 4th brick, right at the bottom of the group with all the other rifles. And now you can see that it's up here. It's 2 bricks higher. Okay, so that's what we can expect from the MSR. Just to recap, it's pretty zero with all the scopes except, of course, for the G28 scope. And you can still use the G28 scope. Just remember, it's shooting higher. In some ways, it can be easier to use because you have to adjust less for bullet drop. Just to remember that the reason you adjust less for bullet drop is because it's actually shooting above the crosshairs. So the G28 is still okay for quick target acquisition. It's still going to be vertically aligned in the center of your scope. Just keep in mind it's shooting a little bit over the crosshair. All the other scopes, it's zeroed pretty well. And the MSR, the mods, have we tried everything here? We went through the scopes. Magazine does not matter. Suppressor does not matter. All right, guys, there you have it. There are the mods for the MSR and the max you can expect to get out of it. I'm going to go ahead and right now on screen, I'm going to overlay the end results of the MSR with the L115 and the Dragunov. So these are the 3 rifles we've tested now. So here you can see where each of them were stock and where each of them are modified to the maximum, you know, reduction of bullet drop. So there you go. So there's that. And with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. I'm not sure exactly what rifle I'm doing next. Not going down the list in order. I'm just kind of taking them as I get requests and I feel which one is the next one most people want to see. So be free to, you know, feel free to tell me what you want to see next. And be sure to comment below with what you think about this video, you know, what you want to see, what you liked. And if you do like this content, you know, then be sure to subscribe because I'm uploading new content for Ghost Recon Wildlands every day. And that actually reminds me, a viewer commented and asked if I was going to be covering Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. And I had a look at the game, and I've been so focused on this game, I haven't really paid attention to what's been going on in the outside world. But yes, I think I will be covering that game. Don't hold me to it. But if you are looking for stuff, you know, if you are looking for content on Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, definitely stay tuned to my channel because I look forward to covering that game as well. Alright guys, that's it for this video. It's been a pleasure. My name is Darkdally, and I will catch you all next time.